Hello guys, in this video I'm going to explain how to simplify radicals that are not perfect squares. So in this example I'm using square root of 27 and square root of 32. So the method that I'm going to use is finding the two factors of that given number where one of those factors is a perfect square. But the question is, how do I get those factors? So I'm going to use the T-sharp method on finding those two factors. So the first pair of factors for 27 is 1 and 27, but I'm not going to use that because it doesn't make sense at all. Then the next factor of 27 is 3 and 9. So, and if you think of other of factors of 27, so 4 is not a factor of 27, 5 is not a factor, 6 is also not a factor, 7 is also not a factor, 8 is not a factor, and 9 is a factor, but I'm not going to list it down because I'm going to be repeating 3 and 9. So obviously in this example for 27, we're going to use 3 and 9. So as you can see, 9 is a perfect square. So after that, you're going to rewrite, okay, there's two factors in radical form. So I have now square root of 9 times square root of 3. So the last thing that you have to do is simplify the factor that is a perfect square. So in this case, we have square root of 9, which is 3. And just affix the remaining factor that is not a perfect square. So the final answer or the simplified form of square root of 27 is a 3 square root of 3. Now for square root of 32. So as what I have said for the first example, so I'm not going to use the factors 1 and 32 because it's not going to change the number at all. Then I'll try the next two factors, which is next to 1 is 2. And you have to multiply 2 by 16 to get 32. If you have to look for other factors aside of this 2, so if you have to try 3, so you cannot divide 30 by 3, so it's not a factor. So let's try 4. So 4 is a factor of 32, which has to be multiplied by 8. So if we're gonna try 5, it's not gonna work. 6 also is not a factor. 7 is not a factor. 8 is a factor, but I'm gonna be repeating 4 and 8. So we're just gonna stop from there. So from this listed pair of factors, we have to look for that pair which contain the greatest uh, perfect square factor. So in this case, we have 2 and 16. So we're gonna use 2 and 16. So now you have to rewrite these two factors into radical form. So I'm going to have now square root of 16 times square root of 2. Now simplify the factor that is perfect square, which is in this case we have square root of 16, which is 4. And just write the remaining factor, which is square root of 2. So the simplified answer of square root of 32 is 4 square root of 2.